Listen closely, because what unfolds next is not a moment, not a fight, not a viral clip, but the slow collision of arrogance and discipline, power and restraint, noise and silence, inside a luxury restaurant engineered to worship wealth, where chandeliers glow like frozen suns and marble floors reflect faces trained to look important. A place where money doesn't just buy food but permission to speak louder, to mock freely, to forget that other people exist as full human beings. And at the center of this carefully curated illusion sits Grant Holloway, a tech millionaire celebrated for disruption and innovation, surrounded by men and women who laugh a little too eagerly at his jokes, who nod a little too fast at his opinions, who orbit him the way gravity demands, because money bends space around itself, and Grant knows this. He feels it in the way waiters hesitate, in the way managers smile, in the way rules soften when he enters a room, and tonight he is drunk not only on whiskey but on the certainty that nothing here can touch him, that consequences are for smaller people. While across the room moves Aaliyah Carter, a black waitress in a simple uniform, hair tied back, shoulders relaxed but aligned, eyes observant without being intrusive, a woman who has mastered the art of taking up exactly as much space as she needs and no more, whose quiet is not emptiness but containment forged over years of watching streets teach lessons faster than schools ever could, containment shaped in basements that smelled of sweat and rust where fists met flesh not for applause but for survival, containment refined by coaches who taught her that the loudest fighter is usually the weakest one. And because she moves without fear and without performance, Grant notices her, and in the psychology of entitlement, calm reads as challenge, professionalism reads as defiance, silence reads as invitation. So he snaps his fingers once, twice, sharp and deliberate, sound designed to assert hierarchy. And when she approaches with composed courtesy, he mocks her, questions her intelligence, lets his table laugh along, feeding on the collective permission cruelty generates, enjoying the way his words land without consequence. And when she turns to fix his order instead of engaging his ego, something inside him fractures, entitlement souring into aggression, and he stands and kicks her behind the knee, not in anger but in amusement, a calculated act meant to remind her of her place, sending her stumbling as a tray crashes and glass explodes across marble, freezing the room in that thin, terrifying moment where everyone waits to see what comes next. And in that stillness, memories pass through Aaliyah like controlled electricity. Sirens at night, her brother's blood on concrete, the first time a coach corrected her stance, the thousands of breaths she learned to control under pressure, and she breathes, steady, because discipline always comes before reaction, while Grant laughs, emboldened, mistaking restraint for weakness, mistaking her stillness for fear, rising with the confidence of a man who has never been stopped, never been corrected physically, never been reminded that the human body has rules money cannot rewrite. And when he swings in drunken fury, sloppy and arrogant, Aaliyah steps inside the arc with terrifying calm, her movement economical, almost invisible to the untrained eye, trapping his wrist, redirecting momentum, driving a precise elbow into his ribs that empties his lungs in a soundless gasp, sweeping his leg and dropping him onto the marble floor like a statue stripped of meaning. And the room goes silent in a way that feels unnatural, laughter dying mid-breath, conversations collapsing into shock, phones rising on instinct as people realize they've just witnessed the unmasking of power. And instead of feeding the violence he started, Aaliyah steps back, hands open, posture relaxed, places her foot lightly on his shoulder, not pressing, not threatening, just reminding, and tells him to stay down. A moment so restrained it terrifies him more than pain ever could, because in that instant he understands something wealth never taught him, that power is conditional, that respect cannot be bought, that the woman he tried to erase could end him and is choosing not to. And as security rushes in, as managers stammer apologies too late, as police arrive and witnesses speak, with clarity sharpened by adrenaline, Grant's threats of lawyers and influence dissolve under cameras and truth, and he is escorted out bruised and exposed while the room exhales collectively, unaware that this moment will ripple far beyond these walls, because what happened here was not just a man falling. It was an illusion shattering, the illusion that silence is weakness, that service is submission, that restraint is inability. And as Aaliyah kneels to clean broken glass, uninterested in applause or validation, she embodies a lesson the world is about to relearn the hard way. that the most dangerous people are never the loudest ones. They are the ones who have learned to wait, to absorb, to control themselves completely, because when they finally move, they don't just stop the noise, they rewrite the rules of the room. And that rewriting does not end when the doors close behind Grant Holloway, because silence has momentum, and what follows silence is reflection, and reflection spreads faster than noise ever could, moving table to table, phone to phone, city to city, as people replay the moment in their minds not as spectacle but as revelation, noticing details they missed the first time. The way Aaliyah never rushed, the way her breathing never broke, the way her eyes never burned with hatred, only focus. Details that unsettle because they expose how often power has been mistaken for volume and control for weakness. And as the restaurant staff resumes motion with shaken hands and forced professionalism, whispers ripple through the room, some filled with awe, some with guilt, some with the quiet realization that they laughed earlier, that they stayed silent earlier, that they benefited from cruelty by not challenging it, while Aaliyah gathers broken glass piece by piece, each shard catching chandelier light like a reminder that even the most polished environments fracture under pressure. And with every movement she feels the familiar ache of restraint, the kind no one applauds, the kind that never trends online. Because restraint costs more than violence ever does. Restraint demands memory, discipline, and a refusal to become what provoked you. And in that moment she remembers her coach's voice from years ago, low and unwavering, telling her that real fighters win long before a punch is thrown and lose the instant they fight for ego. And she remembers nights sleeping on gym mats, hands wrapped in worn tape, listening to others chase glory while she chased control, choosing patience over praise, because she learned early that survival is quieter than dominance. And somewhere outside the restaurant, Grant sits in the back of a police car, ribs screaming, ego shattered, staring at his reflection in dark glass, watching the image of a powerful man dissolve into something smaller, something frightened, because humiliation cuts deeper when it is deserved. And for the first time in his life, there is no assistant to smooth this over, no money to rewind time, no applause to drown out the truth, only the echo of a calm voice telling him to stay down. A command that did not beg or threaten but simply stated reality. And that echo follows him long after the night ends, while online the video begins its own life, slowed, paused, analyzed, stripped of context, and then rebuilt with meaning. Millions watching not just the fall of a millionaire but the rise of a question they can't ignore. How many times have we mistaken composure for compliance? How often have we rewarded arrogance and punished quiet strength? How many Aaliyahs have been dismissed, overlooked, disrespected because they did not advertise who they were? And as comments flood in from strangers who see their own stories reflected in her restraint, from women who learned to stay calm to stay safe, from men who were taught that loudness equals leadership, the narrative shifts from shock to lesson, from entertainment to warning, and invitations begin arriving that Aaliyah never sought. Interviews she declines, spotlights she avoids, because her victory was never about being seen. It was about choosing who she would not become. And days later, when the restaurant replaces the shattered glass and life returns to normal on the surface, something underneath has changed, an unease lingering in the air where entitlement once sat comfortably. Because once an illusion breaks, it cannot be fully repaired. And every time someone snaps their fingers now, every time a voice rises too confidently, every time power assumes silence will bow, that moment replays in the collective memory, reminding anyone paying attention that dominance is fragile, that respect is earned in restraint, and that the most dangerous people in any room are not the ones demanding attention but the ones who do not need it, the ones who carry discipline like a second spine, who absorb insult without surrendering identity, who understand that strength revealed too early is wasted. And so the story does not end with applause or punishment but with a shift, subtle yet irreversible, as more people begin to recognize that true power does not kick downward, does not snap for obedience, does not laugh at humiliation. It stands quietly, waits patiently, and when forced to move, does so with such precision that the noise collapses instantly, leaving behind a silence heavy enough to teach, deep enough to remember, and strong enough to warn anyone listening that the next time they underestimate someone who looks ordinary, calm, or quiet, they may be standing one breath away from the same silence, the kind that doesn't shout its lesson, it lets you feel it.